What up, naughty steppers? It's Connor Whitmore here again with another review for you on the Nawtystep channel. And in today's video, I'm going to be talking about the new EP from Wooli, released on Never Say Die Records, Mammoth. Wooli is a prehistoric mammal based in Antarctica who makes dubstep, as strange as that sounds. Nah, not really. His name is Adam Puleo, he hails from New York and has been making a fair bit of noise in the dubstep scene over the last couple of years. Literally more so than others, to be honest. He is part of an upcoming group of producers really honing in on the mightiest, most spacious sounds that the genre has to offer. This style, labelled by many as Briddim, in bringing together brostep and riddim music, sees him meld cacophonous percussion with wide-reaching synths to give his overall design as large a presence as possible. The other main practitioner in this business undoubtedly being Company, with whom he had already put out multiple collaborations going into this EP. Aside from that though, Puleo's exploits have seen him work with the likes of FuntCase, AFK, Jarvis, Jansen, the list goes on. Going from self-release stuff to producing for Circus, Monster Cat, Firepower, and now Never Say Die, he's certainly been about. And with this EP, we get Puleo's sophomore multi-track project, his debut Never Say Die collection, and first since March 2017's The Cave, released on Firepower. An EP I must say I've been looking forward to a lot because of how much I enjoy that bellowing dubstep sound, unsurprisingly the main feature of Mammoth. Announcing itself just 2 seconds in as the opening track Throw It Up slams into our consciousness, setting the tone in true momentous fashion. Underpinned by jungly noises, growls and giant mammoth footsteps to really create an atmosphere and craft a scene in the EP's earliest stages. Before the first drop is revealed to us, characteristically gargantuan and a fantastic assortment of thrilling dubstep sounds. A real swagger to it as it takes your attention in several directions both sonically and structurally, a variety of sounds used and all angled in this really emphatic way. With the second drop very much carrying on in this vein, following another long intro-like sequence. Interesting this one, because said sequence is too long to constitute as something leading towards a double drop, but also too short to be a midsection. The focal point of this release, however, being these massive swipes, an engulfing development that gives his sound the exact sort of might and presence that I was talking about earlier. It's from here that the desolation is revealed, the mammoth has claimed its territory, and the track draws to a close at just short of 3 minutes. Which is the only proper drawback I have with this tune, seems to be cut short as soon as I'm getting into it, but nonetheless very short and very sweet. The other track where I feel the full force of Wooli's sound is in his latest collaboration with Company entitled Thick Boy. A tense beginning comprised of bright electric notes and tribal cavemen-like grunts to once again set the scene and plunge us deep into that prehistoric world. This track also opening up with a huge thud before a succession of wavy, distorted wubs crank up towards the first drop, which is thoroughly forceful and headbang worthy, my only criticism here being that the main sound is too scratchy and grating. Kinda like someone with a rough throat shouting at and berating someone. Having said that, however, there are some lovely intricate flickers littered in. The impression I have of it is that it would be incredible to hear in a live environment. It's from here, moreover, that the track really picks up and delivers exactly what fans of both producers would look for in a collaboration between them. Starting with these invigorating drums leading towards the double drop, a spicy mutation of the first with these brilliant drawn-out snarling sounds. The same kind of thing but just more enduring, the animal having been fully let loose, the bounce of the structure remaining too. The laser-like screeches at the end of that section don't quite fit in for me, but overall it's a good evolution considering what it follows. All of which comes together for the second main drop as the duo incorporates the scratches, screeches and snarls in a captivating blend. A nice sense of awareness in meshing these things into one, a really good dynamic between everything going on, just really well executed. Winding down for 20 seconds before ending on the most memey note possible in owing to the song's title.
Damn, boy, he's thick, boy, that's a thick ass boy, damn.
Ah, Sensational. The other outright heavy track here, Elephant March alongside Mastodon and from first to last guitarist Travis Richter, has a similar appeal but doesn't quite reach the heights of the other two discussed. The styles of both producers being evident in the dubstep here, Mastodon arguably more so with those vintage, piercing, chimey industrial notes. But I'm not sure everything in these drop sections sounds good in unison. There's a definite drive to it, but on the surface it comes across as slightly jarring. Moments of contrast that don't come off, and more than anything I find myself pining for something more full and weighty. Because it hits hard but not that hard considering who's on the track, and in spite of Richter's riveting guitar playing, I'm still yet to be taken away by this tune. Imagining their drums combining to create the ultimate dubstep super drums, I mean, yeah, I'm gutted we didn't see any of that here. I must say though, I did really like the introduction, the radio opening, grungy guitar and elephant noises play off each other so well. And those zippy laser effects in the second drop, swinging you this way and that, taking the listener by the scruff of the neck. The fourth and final track, Need You with Diamond Eyes, I feel I have to give its own space because of how different it is from the preceding three. Reflective of Wooli's ability to produce in different styles and genres, this being the latest in his collection of dreamy, ethereal, magical numbers. I really like the layering here of Mammoth's voice over that misty piano opening. Not the biggest fan of the lyrics, but there's a very organic chemistry between those two elements. Especially as he reaches into the higher notes of his range, the only thing I'd say that prepares us for the first drop, which appears out of nowhere. Not the most enthralling or euphoric of his, but it's well fitted, searching for freedom like a beam of light between the cracks. What I really dig about this track though is the way it develops, being brought back into life through Marmot's voice and the purposeful drums in the second build. Giving the image of a sun rising, nature thriving all around you, everything blooming and flowering into existence. As if the protagonist has finally discovered the truth. At this point, the song is quite emotionally gripping and enlightening almost. One thing I'm unsure about here is the vocal chopping, which I find to be a little out of place, but the blissful piano ending very much encapsulates the overall feeling of the song very well. And all in all, I come out of listening to this track very thankful that Wooli has this other side to his production. A style that has inspired tracks such as Lucy in the Sky, for example, one of the most stunning EDM songs I've heard in the last few years. Honestly, if you haven't heard it and want to be moved, then I recommend checking it out. But I'm happy he was able to explore those techniques too in this EP. It makes for quite the picturesque ending to what is a mostly full throttle EP. And I think, differently to normal, I've covered everything here conceptually in the process of addressing these songs in this way. Unusual, as I said, but that's how Mammoth works. 3 heavy tracks, 2 showing that off at its best and 1 not so much in my opinion, and a final tune showing the other side of Wooli's production. There's not much else to it than that. Got its mix of timings as well, with 2 short-lived tracks and 2 coming in at 4+ minutes. Nice variation and what most would want from a 4-track EP. One which, in all honesty, leaves me wanting more. I'm excited to see how he develops his dubstep style, how he manages the other one alongside that, who he's going to collaborate with next. There's a lot to look forward to with him. Before I go, need to give a shout out to the artwork. Lovely detail to the picture, great colouring, and the way that the Mammoth kinda dwarfs everything below it is the visual embodiment of his music. Now in terms of my favourite from Mammoth, then I think I would have to go with Thick Boy. Another solid collaboration from these two. You can really hear their styles working together, lots of clever moments, and of course that ending. And on that note, in terms of recommendations, the only person I would recommend is Company. And so that is that for another review on the Nawtystep channel, this time of the new Wooli EP released on Never Say Die. Thank you very much, and as always, for tuning in. Be sure to leave a comment with your thoughts on Mammoth. What did you guys make of it? Do you have a favourite track from the 4? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this review, then be sure to give it a big old thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, hitting the notification bell along the way. For some other Never Say Die reviews on the channel, check out the link next to my head somewhere. Don't forget to like and follow Nawtystep across social media if you haven't already, the links to which, including the sole recommendation, are in the description box down below. And lastly, if it's naughty, then you know guys, so be sure as always to keep it naughty and stay safe. And I shall see all of you legends in the next one. Peace out.